Hi guys, welcome back. And today we are going to do kind of like a craft slash game. So we don't need too many materials today. Really simple. You need toilet paper holder. If you want, you can use paper towel container, bit longer. It might make it like a little bit more difficult for what we're doing today, but if you want, you can. You can always cut them in half. That's a possibility. So you need toilet paper roll, some tape, string, and yes, this is the same string I've been using for all of our activities. It is very useful string. It's lasted quite a while. And you need like aluminum foil. I like wrapped up into like a little ball. If you don't have aluminum foil, that's okay. Or as some of you in the UK know it, aluminium, whichever you would like to use. But since I'm American, I'm going with aluminum. We basically just need something that is like in the shape of a ball, and it has to be smaller than the whole of the toilet paper roll because it's going to go inside it. And as we can see, mine is like almost too big because it can't like sit. It has to go like inside. I guess it could sit on top. If it's big enough to like just fit on top the toilet paper roll, that's okay. So those are the things we need today. If you want to use scissors for the tape, you can use scissors for the tape. Oh, I have scissors. Let me grab some scissors. Hold on. I wasn't going to use scissors because I didn't think I had any, and I was just going to rip this with my hands or my teeth. Don't do it. Don't rip it with your teeth. It's bad for your teeth. Don't listen to me. Use scissors, okay? So I've got some little itty bitty scissors I use when I'm sewing. So I've got my sewing scissors. So first things first, right? You have your paper, your aluminum foil, and mine is already crumpled because I was using it for something and I crumpled it already. So you can have a full piece of aluminum foil and crumple it. Maybe like if your mom or dad was using the aluminum foil to cover something in the fridge and they like don't need to cover that thing anymore, you're like, Mom, can I borrow? Or like, can I have it? Because once it's crumpled, it's useless. 1 second, I need to sneeze. In the elbow. One more time. We should all be sneezing like that now. Good lesson. So we're going to take our string and you're either going to tape it or you're just going to like squish it inside the roll of aluminum. Silly word, aluminum. Hopefully that's going to stay and you want it like a little ball like that. If you want, you can tape it, tape the ball of aluminum foil up so like you know it's not going to go anywhere, because once you scrunch it up to a certain point, it is no longer going to scrunch or stay together. So you want to make sure like you can throw this around without the string coming out. Now my string is very long and I do not recommend having a string this long. So I'm going to fold it up a little bit because you don't want it too long. You'll figure out what we're making in a minute. So I'm gonna just like fold my string up a couple bits. I'm probably gonna have it like, I'll put it diagonally. I think you can see it diagonally, like this long. So I folded it up quite a bit, and I'm now going to take some tape and I'm going to cut some tape off. 1 second. Oh no, it's sticking, it's back. Okay, don't forget to like mark where you left the tape so we don't forget it. Ah, it's sticking to itself. Okay, So we're going to try to tape the excess string to the inside of our toilet paper roll like this. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I need smaller pieces of tape to get inside of my toilet paper roll. I'm going to start with one piece of tape on the end. Oh my gosh, even this is going to be, I think, a wee bit too, oh no, there we go. Okay, that was going to be a bit big in order to fit it into the toilet paper roll. All right, so I got this side taped. Now, obviously, if your string is not as long as mine, you can just tape the little end to it like that. You can just tape a little end. You don't have to get a long piece of string and crumple it up and shove it inside the paper towel roll. You can just use like a little piece of string. And, you know, if you want more of a challenge, you can make it a bit longer. I think the longer the string, the harder this activity is going to be. So now I've got my string facing down like this, and I have got the ball of aluminum foil at the end. Now, you can also, if you'd like, if you have like a stick or something, like I'm going to use my pencil for an example because I'm not going to tape it. I think it's just going to be too difficult for me. You can take a stick and tape it to the bottom like this. So it's just something more to hold on to. So if you haven't guessed, it's a ball in a cup and it's on a string. So we're going to try to get the aluminum foil ball into the toilet paper roll. So let's see if I can do it. I'm not very coordinated. My hand-eye coordination is very, I don't play soccer, but we're gonna give it a try. Let's try. Okay, so I'm gonna stand back here so you can see me. Ignore my messy room, I apologize. All right, so we've got the string and we're gonna try to get it in the hole. Okay, let's see. No, that was not successful. Oh, almost. It just missed it. I did it! Yay! So again, if you want it to be more difficult, you can make the string a little bit longer. If you want it to be easier, you can pull the string up a little bit. If it's too much to hold it from down here, like you don't think you have enough space, you can take like a stick or a pencil or something and tape it on the inside so you have to hold it down at the bottom down here. That could also make it a little bit more challenging. So if you're looking for a challenge, you could do that as well. Hold it from down here and like, nope, that didn't work. But you know what I'm saying. You get the vibe I'm putting down there. All right. So ball in a cup, a fun, easy game that you can waste time for hours. Yeah, well, give it a go. Let me know how it goes. If you find it easy, find it difficult, maybe you can decorate your little toilet paper roll. Maybe I will later. I hadn't thought of that. I'm gonna try and decorate it later. Enjoy, and I will see you next time. Adios, muchachos.
Hello, my name is Caroline and I'm here again with you in N.E.S.T Kids today to look at the science section. And today we're going to be looking at what are the different parts of a plant. To do this, we're going to make our very own pop-up card with a plant inside. So if you make this with me, you can give it to someone or you can keep it for yourself, and let's get creative. To make this, what you'll need are 2 pieces of paper, a pair of scissors, some coloured pens, and some glue or sellotape. The first thing we're going to do is take one of the pieces of paper and fold it in half. And just put it to the side. taking the other piece of paper, we're going to turn it on its side so it's landscape and cut along the edge about 2 centimetres. Excellent. This is going to be the stem of our plant. Next, fold it in half. And then we've got to do something. We have to be a bit careful. If we see it like this, separate it, we then have to fold down the tip of each end to make 2 little tabs, about 1 centimetre each. So now it looks like you've got a pair of legs. So the next thing we need to do is colour in the stem so it looks like green, like a plant. So I've just got a green highlighter, but you can use whatever green you want. And if you have paint, you can paint it, or if you have green paper, you can do that as well. Also, don't worry about my hands. I have a long-term disability, so I just wear these splints to help me feel comfortable. So I'm just colouring in the stem green. You can do it a lot neater than I have. I'm a little bit messy. So I'm just colouring that in. There we go. So if you notice, I've only coloured up to where we did the little feet from the pair of legs. There we go. So both sides I've coloured green. Excellent. Now, the next step is we have to make the leaves. So, using the piece of paper again, I'm going to cut out 2 leaf shapes. And if you do find the cutting tricky, you can always ask someone to help you. So even though I'm making the leaves this shape, leaves actually come in many different shapes and sizes, and also in many different colours. But today I'm going to colour my leaves green like I coloured the stem. So let's colour them in. Just colouring those green. And a little bit later we'll find out why the plant's leaves are green. And actually it's really important for a plant to have the colour in their leaves. It's what helped make their food. Right, so I've coloured those in. I've done it on both sides again. You can do it on one side if you want, but I've done it on both sides. Right, so we've got our stem, we've got our leaves. Now we have to do maybe the most pretty part. We have to make the flower. So when we're making the flower, it's going to go on the top of our stem. So we have to think about the size. So I'm going to do it about this big. And this is the part where you can be really creative. You can make the flower in lots of different colours. You can do it different shaped petals. There's loads of different options. So I'm just cutting it out. Sometimes it's easier to draw the flower on the paper first before you cut it, but I'm just cutting it out straight away today. Cutting it out. There we go. So I've got my flower, but it looks a bit boring, doesn't it? So I'm going to colour it with some different colours. I think I'm going to go for purple to do the petals. And you can choose your favourite colour. You can do a funny pattern. If you're clever, you can even put a couple of flowers on the stem. Right, I'm just drawing the colours on, doing the purple colour. So I've done the petals. I'm now going to do the middle part of the flower. I'm going to colour that orange. Okay, so the preparation is all ready now. We've got the stem, we've got the leaves, and we've got the flower. Now all we have to do is put it all together. So, do you remember earlier we folded this piece of paper in half? this is going to be the card which we're going to make the pop-up flower in. So the first thing we have to do is take the stem and stick onto it the leaves and the flower. When we stick on the flower, we're going to stick it on the end that is got the fold at it, not the end with the feet. So I'm going to do that now. I'm using glue. So I'm just going to glue onto the flower and stick it on. So I've got my flower. Now I'm going to glue on the leaves. So I'm going to do the same thing. If you don't have glue, you can use the sellotape. Just gluing it on. There we go. So I've glued on the flower and I've glued on the leaves. And now all we have to do is make the pop-up card. Take your folded piece of paper, open it up and put it down on the table. And then take your flower which you made, and on the bottom of the feet, we're just going to glue those and put quite a bit of glue on them because this has got to be really strong. So I'm gluing the bottom of the feet. Now, what I'm doing is where the heels of the feet meet, I'm sticking that onto the middle where the line is of the card. So I'm going to hold that up so you can see it. So I've stuck the feet onto the bottom of the card. Press it down really hard to make sure it's stuck. And now we have, when we open our card, a flower. It might be a bit floppy, but look at that. How pretty. So we've got three main parts of the plant. The flower, the stem and the leaves, but we're still missing one really important part, which is normally hidden that we can't see, and that is the roots. So we're going to draw on the roots. Taking a pen, you're going to look to see where does the plant meet the crease. So I'm just going to draw a little spot, and then what I'm going to do, I'll just do this so you can see, is draw on some squiggly wiggly roots. Oh, look how squiggly they are. Woo! And draw them on. You can do it on both sides and they can go really far, and lots of little lines. And these are the roots, and we're going to find out what the roots do in just a minute. So there we go, we've done the roots. Well done. Okay, we've now got all four parts of the plant in our pop-up card. So, what does each part of the plant do? Why are they different? Let's start with the bottom. Let's start with the roots. These go underneath the soil. They normally come downwards as well. These help the plant take water and minerals, which is important molecules used for food. They take them up from the soil. It also helps the plant stand upwards. Next, let's think about the stem of the plant. The stem is really important for transport. It's like a big straw. It sucks all the water up from the roots through the stem to the flower and through the stem to the leaves. It also does this with other nutrients and it helps with the structure. Let's think about the leaves. Now, I said earlier it was really important that they had this green colour, and although leaves can be different colours, they are normally green. This is because they have something in them called chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is really important for something called photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Well, photosynthesis helps the plant make food. The plant can't just go to the shop and buy food, so it has to make its own. And it does that using carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and water it takes up from the roots and sunlight from the sun and from that it makes food for the plant. And lastly, the flower. It's very pretty, but what does the flower do? Well, the flower helps the plant make more plants. It produces a little seed which can then go on and make another whole plant just from this one. And it's often a really bright colour to help attract different insects that might want to help it make more plants. Now let's have a look at a few real plants to see if we can spot the 4 different sections. Okay, so first up, we're going to look at a plant called an orchid. Here it is. So, this is an orchid, and let's see if we can spot the 4 sections. So, shall we work from the bottom? The roots, and in an orchid the roots come out of the soil. Can we see the leaves? Here are the leaves. And this is the stem. And finally at the top we have the flower. So we found all 4 parts of the plant in the orchid. Not all plants have a flower at the same time. So here are a couple of plants that haven't got a flower yet. This is coriander. Coriander is really tasty and you might have it in your curries. Let's see if we can see. Can you see the little white dashes? They are the roots. They're very little and they're very delicate, so I'll put it back. You can see the stems and also the leaves, which are tasty. And the last plant we're going to look at is a very, very exciting plant. This plant is called Mr. Snappy because it is a Venus flytrap plant. Do you want to meet Mr. Snappy? This is Mr. Snappy. It doesn't look very exciting, does it? But it has a secret. So, can you see this little section here? These are actually the leaves, and it has little spiky bits on the leaves. Now, what happens is when a little insect like an ant or a spider crawls onto the leaf, it goes from being like this and it snaps shut and it traps the animal inside and it then eats it. Look, can you see inside the leaf? It's been snapped shut and you can see a little insect. Oh, Mr. Snappy! It's horrible, but it's very clever because it helps it make more food. And as you can see, here is the stem and it's just about to have a flower on it, but it's not quite there yet. This is known as a carnivorous plant. So let's say goodbye to Mr. Snappy and we'll leave him to eat up some little insects. So, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed making a flower. And remember, roots, stem, leaves, and flower. See you next time.